Night it became, and I quote, this is from Drew, I would rather see somebody in like the 7 white person alliance win than any of them 4 because like I want somebody to represent the season well. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want. Drew basically saying here, I'd rather lose to a white person. What up, what up? You know, as if this season was not a disgusting, smelly stench as it is, we now have to deal with the 7 white people remaining in the house coming together to form the Armpit Alliance, which we'll talk about later. Let's start with Devens waking up yesterday with his gut still telling him to not use the Diamond Power of Veto this week. Devens was wondering if he could save his power if they lock in Melody and Mallory, and they still have 5 votes to keep D safe. Although this would mean that Angela would go home if it came down to Angela and D on the block. But I do think this was Devens realizing that if he takes a shot at Kamu and Kamu stays, then Devens is going up for sure. Because, yeah, Devens is about to grow his own target with this move for the sake of D. And, of course, D, whose entire game thus far has revolved around entitlement, while her game has also revolved around twists and powers too. But the Modern Survivor winner would be out of the game, you know, without twists and powers and her entitlement and being saved by production. Of course, she used her entitlement to continue to push Devens to use the power on her, even though every time Devens and D talk about how she needs to use the Big Brother bribe on him first, she gives pushback at first, but whatever. D also practically told Angela about Devens' power before Devens did. All that hiding that Devens did from Angela about his power. And yet, like most things this season, it doesn't matter. Angela doesn't care she didn't know about it, and Devens won't care that D told Angela before he did. Angela was even saying things like, they are saying you were going home over me. D is saying, I can't wait to see their faces. I cannot wait for tomorrow. And Angela, whose birthday is today, she won't get a happy one from me, said, I cannot wait. It's going to be the best birthday I ever had, and I'm still on the block. And this is the kind of pathetic rhetoric that has been taking place all season by these players, most of which who aren't even playing to win the game, because this is another player not caring that she will still be on the block, even though it's her birthday. Like, in theory, Kamu could go up, win the blockbuster. Angela could get voted out over Haley. I mean, it's not going to happen if it comes down to Melody and Mallory because they don't play the game. But in theory, that could still happen. So Angela acting so happy on my birthday, I'm still going to be on the block. You're going to get saved by Devens' power, the power I didn't know about. Why was Angela even cast this season? She has brought nothing but bad vibes. And it's going to be bad vibes at the end of the season. In the postseason, I'm going to be shooting out bad vibes, anybody trying to key with Angela, which means we might as well get to today's Karen Watch. D has still been calling Taylor a bitch all the time, anytime she wants to bring up Taylor. The obsession with Taylor continues. At one point she was bored, talking about, I want to get up and mess with Taylor. This is D, who is on the block, by the way, but of course D can feel all of this entitlement to play any which way, because from the very beginning of the season, she was given an HOH, in an HOH where there was only 3 people that could win the HOH. She was given powers. Devens was given powers. They had a month where they had free reign on the house, so it's no wonder D feels the way she does. But D also, at least twice now, has referred to these people that are running the game. These people can be a dog whistle when you're talking about the minorities running the game. Angela talking about, it's kind of funny watching Taylor think she has been running the show the whole time. Taylor doesn't think that. D saying, bitch, in regards to Taylor, you stayed in your bed for 5 weeks. This is the problem, and this is why Angela and D are Karens, and there is a lot of racism in these talks that they have about Taylor. There has been for weeks now, because it's a problem that Taylor thinks she's running the show, which is what they've talked about in this conversation. But in the same conversation, it's also a problem when she stays to herself in the pod, and that goes back to Taylor being damned if she does, damned if she doesn't, we're watching her with the magnifying glass, and yet this is not game. These conversations between Angela and Dee that have been going on for weeks about Taylor, it's not game. It's very personal, and there's a ton of racial undertones in them. The vets wanted to officially pull in Mallory and Melody for the big alliance, even though they're doing this now that Angela and Dee are on the block. No red flags there for Melody and Mallory. Any real players with brains would see the vets are trying to pull them in after 6 weeks because they finally need them. But male-centered Melody is content with being at the bottom of a very fresh, very big alliance, 7 people with 12 people left. Melody told Mallory, if we solidify, the minorities will go up in front of us. I mean, she didn't say minorities, but that's what's left. That's not in this Pick White alliance. So that's the reason Melody wants to be at the bottom of this alliance. But do they not realize that their time would come sooner rather than later because there's only 12 people left in the game? Mallory, not quite trusting the icons, not as trusting as Melody anyway. But we shall see if Mallory ever actually makes a move against them. Don't get your hopes up this season, because even if they do, I'm sure production's going to protect the vets. We still have a big twist coming up next week. I could only imagine how that's going to help the vets. But Devens wanted to make the big alliance official because I don't think he wants to use the Diamond Power veto on D, but he's going to. But he wants all these backup contingency plans. But they did make the armpit alliance. I mean, they're calling it the mosh pit because they really think they're punk rock. Like, genuinely, they think they are the misfits, even though the crossovers have had power this entire game. The crossovers have been in power this entire game in one way or another, because either they were in a big alliance that was in power, or they've had these powers protecting them. They've had power this entire game. So they're nothing like punk rock, and it's certainly not punk rock and any different than, this being the 20th alliance on Big Brother that's all white going after the minorities. And if you thought this season couldn't get more ridiculous and more obviously rigged, Drew will likely get the last vote of power this week, and he will probably get a power instead of a punishment because he would keep the vets safe, and that's the only thing this season that matters, and that's the only thing that this season is about. So we could likely expect that to happen. If it does happen, then I want to say I predicted weeks ago, soon after either Devens or Dee got their power, I don't remember, but I said that the only people that are going to get powers this season are the vets or people helping the vets, and that's what would happen with this vote. But I'm very lost on this love for Drew out there. It makes no sense to me, because in a house full of Karens, one of the most racist people might be Drew in that house. Drew has not said a single positive good thing about a black player this entire game. Drew started the hate on Lala this season with the bikini comment because of her age. Drew joined in on making the house dirtier to try and piss off Lala. Drew has been saying Taylor is so scary this whole time, acting like she's popping off in confessionals when Taylor was nothing but nice to Drew this entire game. Drew has joined in on the comparing of Taylor of past black women, which is just racist because she's nothing like these past black women that she's getting compared to. And we have discussed how he has said he would rather lose to an icon. But last night it became, and I quote, this is from Drew, I would rather see somebody in like the 7 white person alliance win than any of them 4, because I want somebody to represent the season well. And it's yeah, that's what I want. Drew basically saying here, I'd rather lose to a white person. But also, how exactly does Lala, Taylor, or Yash not represent the season well? I mean, Taylor, Yash, and Kamu would at least be a newbie winning who played the game this season. But that entire statement was very racist coded. The white winner to represent the season. It's giving very much make Big Brother great again from this alliance. Yet Drew is the poster boy for this season where the fandom is concerned. It seems like outside of Devens, he's the only other popular guy, I would say. But this is the same fandom that's saying Kamu is racist because of a poor joke on social media, and Kamu's social media is definitely homophobic. But the same fandom is seeing with their eyes and hearing with their ears how Karen-centric this season has been. and how Drew has been awful this entire season talking about the black players. And yet this fandom twists themselves into pretzels to say Kamu is racist and we must root for an all-white alliance to vote him out. That makes sense. And yes, D is a white, Cuban is not a race. And so, yeah, this new big white alliance, if it's not annoying enough, the conversations they are having, talking around the fact that they're targeting the last minorities in the game, if that's not annoying enough, it is quite literally an alliance of puppets hierarchy. Because we have Drew and Barrett who are puppets for the vets, and then Melody and Mallory who are puppets for Drew and Barrett. Terrible. I can't tell you all how much of a menace I want to be in these Big Brother streets. I'm holding myself back. I'm going to do a roast of Rick Devens either this evening or tomorrow. It's probably going to be harsh, but that will still be me holding myself back because I'm so fed up with this cast and so bored of these feeds that have been nothing but background noise to me most of this season that I might just start shitting on fellow Big Brother podcasters. The problem is I don't watch any, so I don't know if they're saying anything crazy or stupid. But if Mike Bloom was lying, like the video I posted a few days ago, where Mike Bloom was lying, trying to make this season feel better than it was because of the Survivor players, then I could only imagine what else is being said. I only check out Dina the Explorer from time to time. Shout out to her. But if someone else is saying something dumb or lying, send it to me on social media. You can find my social medias here on the channel. You can email me at alboxtalks@gmail.com, ELBOXTALKS@gmail.com, because this season is bad enough, but then we have to deal with gaslighting because people want to kiss CBS ass for access to interviews. Gaslighting, acting like the season's shit don't stink, but it does. If people are having to lie like Mike Bloom to make the season seem better than it is. Like, it's already bad enough lying about the Survivor players and acting like they're still playing a great game, when in reality, them being the only two with powers in the game so far, they would be toast this week or next week overall in the game. I mean, Devens has had a good social game, but he seems very much okay with blowing that up this week. And then they still might have Drew with the power to fall back on, because that's how big of a joke this season is. So again, this season is proving to be pointless. Yosh can win an HOH and a veto in the same week, and yet it's still pointless, just like every other actual attempt at gameplay this season so far.